We Hey everybody, welcome to Love Mastery. I'm going to pin myself and pin people here so we have everybody. Let me make sure I can do this. Pin to screen, and I'll pin myself. There we go. I'm so glad that you guys are joining us today. We are going to be talking about love mastery and how we call in the one, which is so exciting. I think that we've all run through different things in our lives as we try to figure out, who is the right person for us? How do we find the right person? And how do we love ourselves? And Coach Elle is going to be here to walk us through a lot of that. We're going to be doing it in kind of a question and answer format, which I think will be a lot of fun. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat. If you have questions and you're watching this on the replay, which I know a lot of people were going to be doing, reach out. We're going to put our contact information in there so that you can talk to Coach Elle and get your questions answered. A little bit about Coach Elle. She, she's achieved outward success in the business world, but never really found that kind of success in her love life. And so spent a lot of time learning and trying different things until she, right. I know that's the way she still felt really unfulfilled. So she was armed herself with a master's in strategy from Pepperdine. Her romantic partnerships struggled behind closed doors. And after a painful breakup became her catalyst to stop seeking validation externally and instead nurture her inner world. Through intensive self-inquiry, Elle transformed her dating patterns to call in a soul-aligned partner. Now she passionately guides others on this journey from emotional isolation to fulfillment. As a certified Calling in the One coach, she created the paradigm shifting love mastery program, which has helped hundreds cultivate self-love, shift limiting beliefs, and manifest healthy, committed relationships. Rather than chasing illusions of perfection, Elle holds space for clients to uncover their authentic desires and truths. And her blend of strategic wisdom, personal accountability, and unconditional compassion empowers people to transform themselves with meaningful connections that align with their biggest visions. Welcome, Coach Elle. It's good to have you doing this today. I'm excited.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Brie, for this beautiful introduction. Yes, I would like to invite you guys that you came in to listen to this workshop to think about what is your intention of what you would like to get out of this workshop today. And if you have a notebook or anything around you, so you can write it down. So what's the intention? What would you like to learn today? And when you leave here, that you say, okay, I have understood this part. So that would be something that you can think about and write down. And we can start.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think we should start with who is this for?
yes. So this workshop is for people who are in a relationship and questioning themselves if this is the right relationship for them. They have been in relationships in the past and they see a pattern of who they're attracting to their love life. And it's question mark because it's not working for them. It's for people that really want to find that ideal, loving life partner, to have that so they're aligned with their life and the goals in their life. So it's different kind of people, but they have the same goal in that attracting that life partner that is ideal for them.
And so I think a lot of this, when we're looking for that partner, that person, it doesn't just it can't just start there. It has to start somewhere within. So what does it mean? Like when we talk about self-love, what does it mean to love yourself?
Yes. So it's we start with self-discovery and understanding who we are. I mean, I get people, my clients who come to me, they all know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. So we go deep and understand and discovering who we are, what our needs are, and what we want in that interaction, that relationship, and in our life. So that's the first step. The self-love actually comes aligned with self-discovery, because if you don't love yourself in that deeper part of heart to heart part, how can you love another person in that same respect? Sometimes we feel and we see that we love the other person more than we love ourselves. And that's the relationship that is not going to work out, because it has to be a mutual understanding interactions. And it all comes from us loving ourselves. So that's the first step. I do have a self-discovery journal that I'm going to put on the chat for people who really want to take that first step and start understanding who they are, and then what their needs are and what they want. Uh, they sit in a quiet place for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and really go deep and write it down, because that's the first step to attract that ideal partner for yourself.
That's so important. And it is hard to find that like to know who that partner is. And that's one of the things I know you're going to get into is, knowing right away almost who that partner is when you're meeting somebody. Because I think we spend a lot of time and we're like, they always say, oh, there's a lot of fish in the sea that we can, there's like, we'll go meet a bunch of people, but then how do we sort through them? How do we make our way to find the right one and stop wasting our time? Because I know with, when you get to a certain age, you're not, when you're 20, I guess maybe you're not worried about that so much. You can date around and it's fine. But when you get to be a little older, you're like, don't waste my time. We want to be able to like find our way to the right person. And
Yes, yes.
how do we do that?
Yeah, a lot of people, as you say, when they get older and they have these experiences that are uh, coming to them, the same experience, then they just give up. I had clients who were married for like 20 some years, and then they get a divorce, and then after that they just give up on having a loving partnership. So yes, so part of it is, again, understanding yourself and what is your value. What do you want in a relationship? What are the items that are a deal breaker for you? If, for example, if you're an honest person, and you like to have an honest person in your life, you go deeper and understand what the quality of that honest person, what the quality of that you're honest person. Are you honest to yourself? Because a lot of us, we say stuff, we do stuff, but at the end of the day, we are not honest to ourselves. So it comes from that. Are you honest to yourself? Are you honest with other people, with your family around you? And the honesty part comes from expressing, communicating what your needs are in a loving, kind way. A lot of people just come up and they talk about their needs, or what, you did this, you did that, but they don't understand. This has nothing to do with them. We have to look inside and see why that interaction, why the something that the other person did has bothered you. A lot of times it's all coming from those past experiences, specifically your childhood. And we can go deep on that those are the limiting beliefs that comes up.
So we talk about self-discovery and self-love. Why is self-love so important for healthy relationships?
Because if you're not loving yourself, how can you love another person? And then we just say, okay, this is what happened in my relationship. I try to give and give, and I said, okay, I love you, I give you this, and but at the end of the day, 10 years passes, then I realized that I'm not getting anything from this relationship because I never communicated what my needs are. So, and so that's what happens with a lot of my clients too. After 20 years, 10 years, 2 years, they understand and they see, oh my God, I'm not getting my needs met because I don't know what they are, because I don't communicate it. And I just going with what he or she wants in the relationship, not what is best for me also.
Right. And people feel like sometimes they're losing themselves because they're not putting their self out there, what their needs are, and they just worry about their partner's needs. And then they'll all of a sudden realize, I'm not getting anything that I need out of this relationship, but I've never asked for what I need. And that
Yeah.
can cause the relationship to end and break up. And then you're left with this feeling of loss or unimportance, like my needs aren't important, or I don't know how to express myself. So what are some simple ways that we can practice self-love, learn more about that? What are some things that we can do right now to bring some of that into our lives?
Yes, the simplest way that I learned from Louise Hay many years ago, it's this simple exercise that when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror into your eyes and say, I love you. You're a beautiful woman, you're a handsome man, I love you so much. And see if you can do that. I had clients that they couldn't do it for 4 or 5 weeks that we worked together. Because when you look into your eyes and you cannot say that to yourself, it means that you have some baggages from the past. There's some issues that you haven't resolved from who you are, who you have been, and there's just some shame back there. And we need to just clean that out, talk about it, see why it's coming up. And so I'll just invite you to try it. When you wake up tomorrow morning, look into your eyes and say, I love you. And then loving ourselves, it's also uh, equals self-care. So are you taking care of yourself? Are you kind of doing something that you love every week or once a day or anything? Like I invite my clients to put alarms on their phones a couple of times a day or I mean, as many times as you want. And when the alarm goes out, give yourself a few minutes, go inside and just kind of maybe put your hand on your heart and say, what do you need right now? Maybe the need would be just getting coffee. Maybe the need would be just going for a walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It can be anything, or just going shopping, or I don't know, just whatever it makes you feel love, that you're giving yourself that love that you deserve.
And many people don't feel like they deserve that. I think, when we get in the mirror and we say, I love you to ourselves, it's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel awkward. We're gonna be laughing or joking or like, okay, I'll try it, and we don't feel it. But what is it like over time? Like, how does that work? What is that shift that happens?
Yes. So it's that limiting belief that we're going to talk about right now. So it's all about what do we identify ourselves with? Many limiting beliefs: I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I'm not valuable, uh, I'm not beautiful. I mean, there's so many that it has been kind of embedded in our identity of the past experience that we had. So, but we are not. I mean, I invite you to look at what is the best thing about you today as it 20, 30, 40-year-old man or woman versus the 4-year-old that you kind of assumed about the circumstances, whatever has happened in the past. I'll give you my example, and there's many other ones, but I give you my example because I'm okay with that to share with you guys. So when I was 6, I'm originally from Iran. So when I was 6 years old, my grandmother left the country, moved to US, and she was my caregiver. She was my mother to me. So what happened was she never told me that she's leaving. So I figured it out somehow because she would not come to our house. She wouldn't take care of me. So because, I figured it out. And in my interactions with my life partner and, interaction, my limiting belief has been and was, uh, I'm not good enough. Everybody who I love leaves me. So with that interaction, with that identity, I was with my partner, and I always wanted to uh, keep him just by giving him and whatever his needs are, because I felt that I'm not good enough, and I didn't want him to leave. I didn't want to be alone. So that was in my head unconsciously for so many years. And I had to go through the process. And there's an actual exercise that I do with my clients. And we go back to that child, whoever it has been, the 4-year-old, 5, 10-year-old, that has that assumption from the past. And we slowly brings that child here to today, and we talk about, we hold her hand or his hand, and we really hold him and love him, and we make sure that he understands that person or that 4-year-old and the 50-year-old today are the same, but that's not, we are here today and we're not that 4-year-old anymore. I mean, it's a process, but it can be done. If I can do it for myself, I'm sure, but you can't do it for a lot of people. So yes.
For sure. What are some of the common limiting beliefs that people are feeling right now? I kind of want to ask everybody that's here, does this resonate with you? Do you feel like, that there are things that if you look in the mirror, that you tell yourself? I think with the things that we tell ourselves, we're so kind of mean to ourselves sometimes. The things that we would say to ourselves, we wouldn't say to our best friend. Like, I wouldn't look at you, Ellen, and be like, you're not good enough. Why would I ever say that to you? Right. But we're so easy to say it to ourselves. And so if anyone in the audience, if you feel like sharing, we would love to have, what are some of the things that you tell yourself that probably aren't true, but that you believe? And Ella, I'll ask you that question. What are some of the common limiting beliefs that people are feeling? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go to Trey right after. Trey, go ahead with your question.
Oh, it's not a question. I wanted to respond to your.
Oh, sure, please.
When you're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess my limiting belief in the back of my mind is often, even though I work on the same thing with clients. I love that you do this work. Is I'm too sensitive. I guess you could say high maintenance. I would say I'm high maintenance, but I'm worth it. So pretty much, I have a sensitive nervous system. I'm not an HSP necessarily, but like I was grateful in my last relationship that he was an introvert, a social introvert. So when I go out somewhere, whenever he'd do it for me with me, and I get to say when we leave, sometimes I want to drive my own car so that I don't affect their fun. So there is a belief that I've got some special, I guess, needs that, and I take care of myself. And is this guy going to accept that? And to be honest with you, I don't want to be with someone who's more, I've seen men who are more sensitive, not to judge them, but it's like too much for me to have someone who's more sensitive, like to smells and the world. Do you know what I'm saying?
So what is your limiting belief?
I'm too sensitive to be in a love relationship or high maintenance, something like that. Too much, too
Oh,
sensitive, I guess.
you're too much.
Too much. Maybe,
So
yeah.
let's
I have a lot of, yeah, I do a lot of self-care. I have a lot of, yeah, okay, I'll let you go. Lead.
so let's check back.
Hmm.
What do you remember from the past that has kind of made you, or that you think about that you're too much?
I mean, not in a love
Anything?
relationship, but recently, even though we were at an event where they say no fragrance, I hugged my girlfriend of many years. And I don't know what she had on, but I just nicely mentioned it and it triggered her amazingly. Oh my God. She said some things are left unsaid, that are left unsaid. And then there was another situation where physically, my friend left her guitar and it was heavy. It was in a case and it was heavy and there were stairs and I had some physical pain and she just couldn't get it. It's almost like, yeah, lift that. And it's not heavy for me, you know? So yeah, people don't get
Yeah.
it. And
So
when
so three from when you were a child,
when
any
I was
of your caregiver,
I can't
did
do
they
that.
tell you that too
So the
much?
strange thing is, like, I read the book on highly sensitive. I was in a car accident in my 20s. So no, I never was a highly sensitive child. I was an athlete. I'm trying to think, did anybody ever say that I was too much? I don't remember back to my childhood. I'm sorry. It's like I can't identify there, you know? Um,
Yeah, so there is some incident that happened that
yeah,
you
yeah,
feel that you are too much.
yeah.
And maybe today you cannot go in that depth of identifying that.
Yeah, like when I went to my Italian family, you know, all four of us, and we were gonna go get some barbecue chicken, and then I don't eat wheat. And so they decided to go to pizza. And I was pretty much saying, hey, hey, you know, hey, they didn't have the gluten-free or cauliflower then crust. And so my mother was in the other room and she said to my dad, why is she so difficult? And that really,
Oh, okay.
I
So
mean, but
here,
this
see,
was in my 60s and I mean, like maybe 65 years ago or so. Yeah.
so I mean, she said that when you're 60, I'm 100% sure. She said that when you were 7 or 6. So
No, no,
maybe
six
you don't
zero,
want to.
6-0. It was only you know, it was only 4 years ago, not
No, I
6.
understand.
Oh,
But
okay.
if she has said that when you were 60,
Yeah.
I'm sure there is some incidents in the past when you were much younger and you felt it. Even if she doesn't say it, you
Yeah.
must have felt that interaction from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has set
Think
with
about
you.
that.
Yeah. So just invite you to think about that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put the self-discovery journal here. And
Okay.
then you can also have a limiting belief quiz. So you're welcome to, I'm gonna put that
Oh,
on the chat too.
thank
So
you.
you can take a look at.
Holly?
Yes, thank you, Coach L. I want to share because I'm huge about all this topic you're talking about. I'm happily blessed, married to my soulmate right now, but I want to share where I came from, and that might also help people because I was huge about this. I was in a physical abuse marriage for 4 years, and it was hard to get out. And I stayed in it because I didn't want them to tell me, I told you so. Them being
Mm.
everyone telling me it was the wrong choice. He had a kid and he was married. I fell in love. I was blind. I didn't listen. And I stayed in it, getting abused and not wanting to tell anyone. I would put glasses on until they would find out. So it is very, very important. What Elle is sharing, but there is, once you become really complete within yourself, it wasn't, the answers were not like outside of me. Once I looked at myself, because I used to hate myself. So I literally doubled down on what Coach Elle says. I always have the mirror up to this point with me. And I always tell myself that I love you because I literally couldn't look at myself in the eyes and say that I love you. So that made me go from relationship after the relationship to relationship. until I settled in and practice exactly what Coach L will teach you to go through that. It's really, really, really helpful because we keep to wanting to please others instead of ourselves. So what other people think of us is none of our business, as Dr. Wayne Dyer said. But another note about the gluten-free feeling guilty, I had that also happen to me because I thought everywhere I go, everyone would tell me, she is so difficult. We can't even invite her. We can't. So what I did, it takes practice. I disattached myself from the people that would not understand me, and I chose not to care. And when I became that person, and then they were attracted towards me. So just
Yeah,
wanted.
so yeah, exactly, Hada. So what happens when you understand who you are and what your needs are, and you actually value it for yourself, then that energy that you have because of that identity that you build of who you are today, not from those past experiences, not from that 4-year-old person that thinks that everybody leaves me when I love them, then everybody around you will change. You attract and bring people to your life that are very much aligned with who you are and you have identified with yourself today. So it takes some time, it needs practice, and it needs to really go deep and do that, steps to get to that space of understanding of who you are. But it's done. You can do it. It's not impossible. It is possible. And I work with many people that they have step-by-step worked. That person, the gentleman that I worked with, it took him 7-8 weeks to get to that space of looking into his because of his childhood trauma. But he did it at the end because the commitment that we have to. So first, when I work with clients, I ask them, what is the commitment here? What to yourself? Sorry, what's the commitment that you have to yourself by doing this work with me today or this next 5, 7, 8 weeks? So we base it on that commitment and that intention that you have. So that's how it works. And it's beautiful when you get to that place of understanding who you are, accepting yourself today and loving yourself today. And people and even your family around you, they will see you in a different way. They will all they ask you, what have you done? If you look at my pictures from 5, 6 years ago or longer than today, I look different today. I have a different kind of energy. And I have my clients at different kind of energy after 3 or 4 times that we talk. If you look at their faces, I say, what have you done? Put makeup on? And they say, no. I say, oh my God, you look totally different. Because it's understanding, accepting, knowing that you're good enough, that you have value, and you give that value to yourself from inside, not from outside and other people outside of.
So important. It's so important. And I think once we can start to, do what you said, get in front of the mirror, take the time, set some alarms for yourself to really check in with yourself and see, what do I need right now? Do I need to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is? Maybe I'll go for a walk. Maybe I'll do just something for yourself. I think that's something that we really have a hard time with. I know that I had to actually put it on my calendar and schedule time for me. That's, stop. We all work so much, and I wasn't taking lunch breaks. I would eat at my desk and I would continue to work, and I never gave myself a break. And now I'm intentionally making sure that I do those things for myself, that I put myself in a good space. And I think it's all a journey as we learn more and value ourselves and love on ourselves a little bit. Because it just makes us better. It's not taking away from from our partners or from the people that we want to help and support it. But by doing that for ourselves, we are able to better serve and better help and be the person we want to be to those around us, and to help us find that right partner. If we don't have them, how do we find those right partners? So what are some of the things that we should value in a life partner? What are we looking for?
Everybody is looking for different things. So I invite you to write it down, see what you're looking for. I mean, there was like, what are your deal breakers? Like if you don't like smoking and you don't like anybody that smokes, that's a deal breaker for you. So that's the first thing. And when you go out or when you meet someone that smokes, you know already that you're not meant to be together because that's something that you don't, that's a deal breaker for you. We talked about honesty. Just for each person, it's different. So what are your, the other day I was talking in another group and somebody asked about the love languages, the 4 love languages. And she said, do we have 2 or 3 different ones? And I said, yes, you have 2 different, maybe if one person has 2 love languages. One of them is more important to them, second one is less important. But understanding each other's love languages, when you're in a relationship, and if you want your partner to know, if you don't communicate and tell them, you know what, my love language is touch. I would like to hold hands. I would like to, when we go for a walk, to hold my hand. And, just put your hand around my shoulder. I mean, if that's something that is that's your love language. If it's buying flowers for me every week or every other day or whatever it is, or giving me presents, that's my love language. That makes me happy. What is your love language? So it would be mostly, it has to be communicated because nobody can read your mind. And if you think that people can read your mind, it's a mistake. You have to be able to communicate lovingly and tell them and your partner, this is what happened and this is what made me feel. I understand where you are, but please next time, let's have a conversation about this. Very simple. You can talk like that. And then they will think twice about being angry or going to the other space that is not, it's negative.
So when we go through all these things, and we really need to know what our values are and what we want to see and who we are. And we talked about that in the beginning. So how do we set our boundaries when we're dating? What are boundaries that are important to us when we're dating?
So you set the boundaries with people dating, not dating, at the business, anybody that you want to have that interaction. For example, in the dating situation, if it's new and if you don't feel comfortable when the person texts you at 4 o'clock and wants to go out that night, then you just, tell them that I'm not ready for tonight, so let's just do it tomorrow night or the next night, whenever you feel comfortable to go out. So then that's the boundary that you give them. You don't say, okay, you know what, if I say no, then he's not going to be like me and we're not going to go out anymore. No, it's not going to, it's your boundaries. This is what you like to know. And then when you meet with him, you say, no, it would be nice. I would like to know a couple of days ahead of times that we're going to go out to dinner or hiking or whatever we're going to do. So you set the stage, you set the space in that, so it will go straight in the way that you want it. And if the person doesn't agree, then that's not the person for you. That's basically it. in
That's a
the
great way
days.
to feed, yeah, to sort through, right? So we know if we're setting these things up ahead of time and we know what we like, we know what our values are, we know how we want to be treated instead of it just being, well, I'll accept like the deal breakers that you mentioned earlier. If we have these ones that are deal breakers, that's going to help us as we are searching for that right person. Though as soon as they don't, like, as soon as they hit something that's either a deal breaker or they don't want to work within what we're honoring ourselves and our values and our boundaries, then they're not right. Oh, sorry, they're not right, and we can just kind of move along and be okay with that. Because
Yes.
when you set them up with
Yeah.
this, when we talk about our self-love, we know what we deserve and what we want. We a
Mhm.
lot of times, like you said, we know what we don't want, but sometimes we don't know what we want.
What we want. Yeah. Yeah. So it's important to really the self-discovery journal that I made. It's just basically for you, whoever wants to do it, to sit down and really understand what they want and ask themselves those questions. And in different situations, it may be different, but the core value of who you are and what you want and what your needs are, those are essential to when you start a new relationship. And if you're in that relationship for a while and then both of you on the same page and want to understand and discover each other from today on, since you have not done it, I don't know, 5 years ago, then yes, it would be a great practice to each person do it on their own, and then you get together and have a conversation about it and see which if you're on the same page. Because people change, we change throughout the years. And that's why I recommend people to first of the year. I have a client that they do every October, the husband and wife, they sit down and talk about their goal for the next year. And they put down and they have this vision board and they work on it. And that's why it has been working for them. They made that decision a few years back, and since they have been doing that, then they both give feedbacks what we want to do in January. They just set the time for the next year together, not on their own, separately.
Right. And that keeps them on the same page and they don't drift away, or the
Yes.
one partner doesn't feel like their needs aren't met and all they're doing is meeting their partner's needs. I think having that balance. So whether it is as you're going out to find somebody or to find that partner, that life partner you're looking for, when you come to the table and you have all these things already in place and you know what I want, what I don't want, that I respect and love myself enough to find the space and let them know that this is what I want and feel confident. I don't think we feel very confident about it. I mean, that's one of the things I think it's hard for us to say, I deserve more, because we've been telling
Yes.
ourselves, I don't deserve love. But then switching the script on that and saying, I do deserve love and I do deserve, these are the things that are important to me. I think that really changes the way we look at people, the way we interact with people, and the confidence that we put out. Like you said, nothing changed, but everything changed.
And one other thing that is important is knowing your feelings. The second week that I work with my clients, I send them, I say this is, instead of homework, I said these are heart words. So I send them a sheet that has all the feelings on there. Because a lot of times I ask, okay, how do you feel? How did that interaction make you feel? And they go to that story of this is what he said, this is what she said. And I keep asking them, how did that make you feel? Sad, angry, happy? I mean, a lot of people cannot go deep and understand their feelings. So I was there. It took me a while to understand my feelings because we put those feelings down, below our stuff. I mean, like, and we don't appreciate our feelings. So I tell my clients, you know, let's just befriend our feelings. Even if you're angry, even if something has bothered you, sit with that anger, sit with that sadness for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Give yourself that space to be with that sadness and ask yourself, what do you need now? There is an exercise also for that. And then when you acknowledge your feeling, then it's a different scenario. Then it will say, I'm bad, this is what happened, and I feel sad, I feel neglected, you know, whatever, it's those feelings, a couple of them, it's when it comes out. And then what do you need now? I need a hug, I need to go for a 5-minute walk. Walking is for me because I love to walk, or any kind of anything that makes you happy at that time. Ask yourself, what do you need right now?
For sure.
And it's yeah, it will give you a different way of being after that.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes you just need to go get that Starbucks coffee or something. I wanted to get a chance to let everybody ask a question. I know Tree was asking earlier when we began, what are your thoughts about maintaining a relationship or friendship with an old boyfriend from many years ago while you date? I'd love to get your response to that.
And I feel
Yes.
like I'm a dating coach, so I feel like an imposter by asking this, but this is a safe place. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So if you already have had the conversation with the boyfriend, the old boyfriend, that, you know, we are friends and I have been dating,
Mhm.
and you know, just have that conversation.
Yeah,
Make sure that
it's
you're on
really
the same.
clear that we're both, he's helped me like with my, dating profile and stuff, like, it's really clear we have a deep love and trust for each other, like, just because we're not going to spend the rest of our lives together. And it's something I disclose early on to the men, and I'm
Mhm.
knowing that when I find the love and he wants me to be happy, I want him to be happy. I'm not going to be talking to him every day, but it's just, he knows he wants, that things may shift, but there's a part of me that like, I would tell a client, might be like to let go of them, but he's my best friend, you know? So you
Yeah,
don't
so then there's
strongly,
some,
as long as it's clear, you don't feel
yeah,
strong.
as long as it's clear, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as both of you are clear in that, and you don't feel that because of that relationship you have with the old boyfriend, you're not gonna bring somebody to your life.
No. He just, we got each other through COVID. We're just like there for each
Yeah.
other. But it's something that we know we're really protective of what we have. We don't want to go into a love relationship again. And we know that we just are different. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure. And
If anyone else has a question, please let us know and raise your hand and we'd be happy to answer. I love this program that you're doing. I wanted to talk a little bit about it. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly and let everybody know. Coach L, you have a wonderful program. It's called Love Mastery, Calling in the One Journey. It is a course that starts this March. Tell us a little bit about it.
yes, so it's a group program, and it's going to be around 5 or 6 people, in a very small group of people that wanted to go through this journey of understanding who they are, and based on that, the self-love, that self-discovery, and the limiting beliefs, want to bring that loving life partner that is aligned with their life to their life. So it's a 12-week or 3-month program. We meet every week as a group, as groups, and then I give homework and then videos that you watch throughout that week. And then when we get together, I can ask questions and we process everything that has come up in that learning for you. And also, I offer 2 one-on-one during that 12-week program. It's extra. So especially when we work on the 3rd week, we work on limiting belief. So that means that the third week, we can have a one-on-one with me and we can go deep, and just like what we did with Tree about her limiting belief, and then we can go deeper than that. It takes an hour session, and it's really, really, it's a game changer when we do that. Then the second one is, I recommend people to do it at almost at the end of the, before the end of the 12 week. I'm also a laser coach. So laser coaching is based on where you are and where you want to be. And it's the commitment and also the vision that you have for yourself, that you work on that session with you, intention and the manifestation of what you're looking for in that relationship or life partner. So then that's the second part
Yes,
that
and
we
I think
go
it's an amazing program. If you really want to dig deep and get into all it is, like all the things that you need to really get, like the self-love, I think is definitely the beginning part. So we're
Mhm.
loving ourselves and we know we want and how to honor ourselves and our wants and needs. And then moving into, finding the right person, setting that all up, looking into the things that have held us back from our past to be able to move forward to a new healthy relationship with ourselves and with our life partner. And I like that you even do it for couples where they can do a check-in and honor each other. I think that's a beautiful thing. We do have the program. I'm going to put the link to the program in the chat. And Elle, if you want to drop those links in for
Okay.
the giveaways that you're doing, the free the workbooks in the chat, that would be great. I'm going to drop the link. If you're interested in signing up for this program, the link is in the chat for everyone. It is a 3-month program. The price is $3,499. We are offering a 3-payment plan. So it'll be 1 payment a month during the 3-month program. And we are also offering, and does not apply to the payment plan, but if you do want to pay in full, we have a special offer just through Sunday. It is $500 off. And I will send this out an email, but if you are interested in doing that, in the checkout page, you can write L500 as the coupon code, and that will allow you to take $500 off if you want to sign up before through this weekend. And I think it's such an amazing program that you want to do. If you took a chance, did you put the links in the chat yet? I saw you. Okay, you put the quiz in there.
Yes, I'm looking for the self-discovery.
Okay. And if anybody else has any questions before we wrap up, we just have appreciated everyone being here. It's been such a fun time. I hope we got a lot of stuff answered for you and got you thinking. Your homework assignment, I love giving homework assignments out. It must be the teacher in me. Your homework assignment is, try it for the next 7 days. Get up, look in the mirror in the morning and say, I love you to yourself. It might sound or feel weird at first, but keep trying and keep doing it. And you'll be surprised that just in the first 7 days, by the time you're done, you might actually enjoy saying that, and it might feel pretty good. And then keep going with it, because it's really important that we work on loving ourselves and taking out some of those things that we have been telling ourselves for so long, since we're not very nice to ourselves. Start filling that in with the positivity and the things that we love about ourselves. I think that's really important. And as Elle tries to, we're also going to put these links into, thank you guys. We'll put these links into the email that'll have all the information, all the links and the workbook for everyone. And the replay, if you're watching this later, we would love to hear from you as well. Thanks, Coach Elle, for being here and for doing this. It's been wonderful. And thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks to the ladies for attending. It's been wonderful to chat with you all the way from Spain as well. Judith, we appreciate you tuning in and staying up late with us.
Yeah. Tree, where are you from? Where do you live?
I live in Saratoga in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, so you have the same times. And
Yeah.
Mandy, would you like to share where you're from? Okay.
She might not be able to talk. Maybe she's at work and she's sneaking onto this, because
Yes,
that happens. That's okay. Oh, Colorado, she
Oh,
said.
I mean
Great.
Colorado. Okay, got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they'll both
So
go ahead, Elle.
no, it's fine. I mean, we appreciate Judith for sure. She's streaming from Spain, and it's like
Yeah.
midnight for her now.
Aw,
It's
thank you.
midnight. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. It's been great.
Okay.
If anyone's interested and if you want to sign up right now, let me know. Raise your hand and I can walk you through the sign up process, or if you have any questions. If not, I'll let you all go, and I appreciate you all being here. It was great meeting you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.